Hello, everyone. Welcome to Guildmaster Gaming and a first look at something a little bit different than a game, but it is a book and it ties in with a lot of gaming that we do. I'm taking a look at a cookbook called Heroes Feast, the official D&D cookbook. Now, I'm thinking this is going to be a lot of fun to work through because, like I mentioned in the other book I was looking at, the other cookbook, I started out cooking at a very young age because my dad was a chef. And so I worked in a restaurant at the age of like 8 or 9 baking brownies. That's where I started with that. And I worked in there for a long time until about 30 years old or so, until I finally got out and said, I need to do something else and not do food anymore. But along with that, my very first book I wrote was a cookbook. So I can take a look at this and I really feel a little bit more of being able to judge it on some of those things that I see. So I'm going to first, give you a look here at the cover. You can see this has got a lot of very much the look of D&D, and the people that are involved with writing this were Kyle Newman, Jon Peterson, and Michael Witwer. Now, from my seeing what these people are about, these are D&D people, not chefs. So I'm sure that they had a lot of work going in with this, and it will probably be in the acknowledgments. But now the back cover is just some reviews from some big names like D.B. Weiss, the co-creator of Game of Thrones, and Tom Morello against Rage Against the Machine. But in the front, it has a little bit of an introduction about what this is about. From the D&D experts behind Dungeons and Dragons, Art and Arcana, comes a cookbook that invites fantasy lovers to celebrate the unique culinary creations and traditions of their favorite fictional cultures. With this book, you can prepare dishes delicate enough to dine with elves and their drow cousins, or hearty enough to feast like a dwarven clan or an orcish horde. All 80 dishes, developed by a professional chef, are delicious, easy to prepare, and composed of wholesome ingredients readily found in our world. Now, it goes on from there, but I did take a look at some of these, and that is true. These are some very good recipes from the way they look, very solid, good ingredients. Stuff that we can, there's no fancy names to do it. So you're not going to have to be looking and trying to decipher what means what. Now, the way it's broken down is the first part after the introduction, and it gives some good information about that. What is Dungeons and Dragons and all this. And I will tell you, the one thing I did see with the people that were involved, these are definitely TSR worlds. So you're talking about, Greyhawk, Faerun, Eberron, those. Now, the way it starts out is it actually breaks it down by recipes by the races. So you go through human, elven, dwarven, halfling, and then it goes on into some of the more exotic cuisines. And it goes through some of the different aspects of the different worlds. So, and there are some really wonderful photography. If it's of the food, or if you got artwork and photography kind of setting the tone of what this is all about. So even that in itself is a really nice, piece for a cookbook. Now, all the way through this, it has information about the different game worlds, how the culinary aspects fit in, and then it has tips for magical cooking, excerpts from the Codex of Eldritch Cuisine, and it kind of gives you some different aspects of things that you might need to just kind of go along. Then when you get into it, each section is broken down by a good solid selection of recipes. And like they said, this book has 80, so it's not glaring in the light there too bad. The book has a total of 80 different recipes, and that's the selection for human recipes. And what I saw, just real quickly now, I will admit, when I was writing my own cookbook, I had to do a lot of research. And I will say these are not going to be set for like very beginner cooks. You're going to get directions that don't tell you like how long to mix something. We'll say to blend it, how to bring it together. So you're going to need to kind of make sure you have a good understanding of some basic cooking things as you go ahead. But there are everything is very much recipes we'd probably be using every day, or not every day, but for special occasions. And they gave it the feel from the world. It's like pan-fried knucklehead trout. Now, anybody from Faerun or reading the older books of Dritz definitely know about the knucklehead trout. And it goes through each one of these. And like I said, you go through all sorts of different races, and here is like a picture of a character from the books in gaming, and his statement here. This is from the Yawning Portal, Durnan from the Yawning Portal, and they actually have their menu. So you can kind of get an idea and kind of plan out an entire gaming event around, a particular location. Then they have Elven cuisine, and like I said, there's some of the other ones, and each one they have like the Green Dragon Inn. I saw that in here. The Celestial Vista Restaurant. So I mean, you're getting some really, if you're into the gaming, this is a great way to have some fun and take your game to maybe a different level as you provide the food or have, working with people to provide the food. So along with the base races, when you get back in the back, you have Uncommon Cuisine as chapter 5. So at that point, whoops, okay, it went away. I hit a keyboard there. You have the Uncommon Cuisine, and this is like Arkan and the Cruel's Flame Roasted Halfling Chili, Orc Bacon, fire-spiced Abyssal Chicken Kebabs, Hard Buckler Stew, Twice-Baked Cockatrice Wings, Braised Lamb Deep Gnome Turtlemuck Pods, Surrogate Steaks, Barovian Butterscotch Pudding, Fried Fingers, and Bitopian Shepherd's Bread. So a lot of fun ways that you can kind of play with it at your gaming table. But like I said, and it even has drinks in the back. So you can have a lot of fun for the older people, even the younger people, because not all of them are alcoholic. But like I said, in the pictures, the food actually looks really good. And I'm looking forward to giving a try to some of these recipes and sharing them probably with my gaming group and with, some other people that I know that just are into good food. Because like I said, I've been around food all my life. Haven't we all? But I've been around restaurant work and food all my life. So I'm thinking it's going to be a really fun book to go through. The Hero's Feast. Now, I'm going to post a link where you can find this if you want to find out more about it immediately. But I'm also going to be doing a review of this, but it's going to take me a while because there's a lot of recipes here. I don't plan on doing all of them, but I plan on going through them, taking a look at them, making some of them, and seeing how they work out and how they present and how the people like them. From what I've seen so far, I have a lot of good feeling about this. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with sharing these recipes out. I look forward to writing a review about this book. I'm hoping, and my first impression is it's going to be good, and I'm hoping it will be. When I get that written up, I will link it back to this YouTube presentation of the first look at it and link the review back over. But you can find that either on my author site, it will be guildmastergaming.com. That's where you can follow me as an author, or directly to my blog, which is guildmastergaming.blogspot.com. I look forward to sharing the results of the Dungeons and Dragons Heroes Feast, the official D&D cookbook. Thanks for joining me.